everyone, and welcome to another episode of Neurodiverse in Wrestling Your Success. I'm your host, John Arroyo, and in today's episode, I'm going to be covering NXT and TNA. Because with the latest deal with TKO, WWE and TNA are working together, and boy, it's a lot of crossovers. So for now on, the weekly reviews will be NXT and TNA, and then we will get Raw and SmackDown. But back to what I was saying, we're getting multiverse level portal opening, like fifth door dimension wrestling with TNA and WWE. So many groups are going back and forth, and I'm gonna break it down. But pretty much, like, both of the shows are like on fire and like popping off to the best. This is the best wrestling has ever been. So let's get into it. So we kick things off with the one and only.
Say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry.
I believe in Joe Hendry. Fresh off our TNA rebellion and still feeling the pain from a sneaky attack by Trick Williams. Because a couple weeks ago, Joe Hendry was in NXT. He said some stuff to Trick. Trick beat him up. But then Trick went to his show and beat him up. And Joe was fired up. He called Trick a wannabe superstar. But him, Joe Hendry, he's a main eventer. Because he had a match at WrestleMania with Randy Orton. And he said Trick would never be on his level. But he wants Trick to come face him man to man. But then Dark State attacks Joe Hendry before Trick could respond. This is wrestling multiverse energy. Like, it's given DC Universe, it's given Marvel Universe. The closed door is wide open. The portal to the other dimension. And I just love it. NXT X TNA. And then, WWE just acquired Triple A. So let's see. Like, we're getting a multiverse, like, level of wrestling. And I just love it. More, please. We get the first match of the night, and oh boy, was it a banger. We got the North American Championship on the line with Ricky Starks and Lexus King, and it was a brawl. Before the bell even ran, Lexus King brought heat early. But Ricky powered back with some chops and some drop kicks and a massive sidewalk slam. We got some counters, rope grabs, swantons, but Ricky Starks hitting the DDT and then the Iron Rambo for the win. Starks is really showing that he's the top guy. So who's next for Ricky Starks? And what does mean for Lexus Clean? Because he lost the Heritage Cup, now losing the championship opportunity. What did this mean for him? The men's division is looking pretty good. Not even good, amazing on NXT. So let's see what happens next. So next we get the continuation of the family. Let's call this segment The Don Calls Out the Traitor, part one of the NXT Godfather, you can say. This is cinema. Tony D'Angelo calls out Stacks for betraying him at Stand and Deliver. Tony D'Angelo is discussed and heard it. He was given full Mafia vibes, bringing up the childhood of him and Stacks, giving full Soprano, and I just love that. But then Stacks showed up on the screen and said, it's time for a new Dawn, and it's time for a new head of the NXT house. And, he said, you send all your people in hiding. But, Tony had some men with him, but to find out that those men was on Stacks' side and try to beat him up. Pretty much, we're gonna get a Mafia Civil War coming, and I'm all here for it. And I love how the storyline is given crime boss soprano realness. I want more. Pretty much, guys, we need to pour one out, because it's the end of Metaphor. They all sat down and talked. Noe and Dora just came back, but the rest of them are doing good. Like, the Metagirls are in the tag team division. Ensa is literally doing the he's doing amazing in the solo. So they say their final goodbyes. But what did this mean for like Noam? And do this mean some of them are getting called up? We just have to wait to see. And then we got a really good match with Sovuka and Carmen Petrovich. They went head to head in a solid match. Carmen leaned to her martial arts skills, but Sovuka was firing around like she always does. She hits the X Factor. Sovuka hits one of the best X Factors, I believe. And during the match, Sovuka and Carmen Petrovich go on the outside, and we see Zoria just keep looking at Soul. Like, I feel like it's some tension there because of the ladder match, because Soul was the one who pushed off the ladder to get the title. But, Soul wins with a Soul Statue for the win. But even juicier than that happened after. Carmen kicks a senton. So I guess they're broken up, they're back together. But then on the way out, Zoria is with Soul, but she keeps looking at the title. So a betrayal's coming and a love triangle brewing. NXT is turning into a soap opera. And I just need more of that telenovela realness. Then we got a killer promo from Trick Williams responding to Joe Hendry. He announces that he's going to be on CW's All American Big Moves for Trick Williams. And he says he's the biggest star ever. NXT and TNA doesn't need him. He's better than that. But he wants the championship to prove a point. And Ava ain't having that. She's done playing with the boys. Ava been dealing with Trick all year. And she's like, you know what? I'm done with you. So she drops a bomb. A 20-man battle royal next week. If Trick wins, he gets a title shot at Obafemi. But if he does it, somebody else takes his shot. Ooh, that was good. Now we just have to wait to see who wins the battle royal. Is Trick gonna get a second shot or somebody else is gonna steal his shine? We just have to wait until next week to see.
We got a killer tag team title match with Hank and Take versus Josh Briggs and Yoshi Etamura. I'm gonna say this was the match of the week so far, guys. Guys, we had powerhouses, punches, tag team collider moves, and high flying stunts you never see a lot of big men do. But at the end, Hank and Tank was able to win. But I'm gonna just say this now: the tag team division on NXT is popping off. So let's just see where it goes next.
Guys, we got the return of Chase U. Finally, Andre Trace is back in business. I love this. New students, bigger energy, and more chaos. I just love this segment. Chase U introduced some new students as well as Andre Trace ends the scene off just cussing out his students and saying that he's going to teach everyone a lesson soon. I cannot wait for that. Does the Hill play in the mix? We don't know, but Chase U is back, baby. That's the only thing I know, and I love it.
NXT main event was just killer. We got Jordan Grace and Io Sky versus Julia and Roxanne Perez. And this is like a whole new dimension of women's wrestling. We just started out the match with a brawl, which led it into just straight up chaos. From literally Jordan Grace and Io Sky doing amazing tag team combo moves you never see. Jordan Grace being a total powerhouse, hitting a double German suplex and like stuff like that. To Julia being a striker, just knocking the hell out of everyone, and Roxanne Perez just using her smarts to get ahead. But near the end of the match, Julia and Jordan just have a power off like beatdown and leave Roxanne and Io left. And Roxanne tried to do a pop crotch, but Io gets out of it because Io loves crashing out. And then she hits the over the moonsault to win. That was just so good to end off NXT. And oh my god, I just can't. Like, when I get, guys, I'm about to go talk about TNA. TNA just blew it up even more. So let's get into that. We start TNA with a bang. Joe Hendry kicked things off, proudly holding the TNA World Championship. On his birthday, he's living his best life. He told the world that he had a match with Randy Orton at Mania and he won a rebellion. But he ain't done. He calls out Trick Williams, accusing him of pretty much just ducking and dodging. But Trick Williams keeps sneak attacking him. So pretty much calling Trick Williams a scaredy cat. But Trick Williams, he calls him out. And Trick Williams shows up on the screen and he's like, well, Joe, I'm like busy. Like, I have that CW show that I'm on, and plus I have a battle royal next week on NXT, so I'm not coming tonight, but just, you never know. So Joe Hendry is sick of it, so he just announces the main event. Him and the Hardys versus Kazarian and the Memphis. And it's a pretty killer match, but we're going to get back to that main event, because what Trick Williams says kind of proves Trick Williams' point. We will get back to that later. The first match of the night is Mike Santana versus Isaiah Moore. A fast-paced, hard-hitting match. These two men were flying around and fighting like Tekken characters. But at the end of the day, Santana hits a sidewalk slam, a cannonball, and then a powerbomb to victory. Literally, he does a multiple combo move. Post-match, a cold-blooded promo. He says he's done with Mustafa Ali and he's coming for the World Championship. So Joe Hendry, watch out. So Santana got the hunger in the title scene. So does this mean that we're getting a multi-man match? I don't know, but it just shows that the TNA main championship division just got a lot bigger. We got our TNA Intercontinental Champion Steve Maclin come out and he was going to do a promo, but then the North Army with iron chains whips him to a pulp. Maclin tries to fight back, but the numbers just was too much. I want to see how Maclin retaliates. Keep your eye on this one. But damn, that was out of the blue. That attack was just crazy. We get this epic X Division Championship match with Moose and Welts. It was an utter banger. Wentz speed gave Moose a hard time, but Moose's raw power was terrifying. He hits this super bomb that I think like took Wentz's soul, but Wentz kicked out only for a 2. So Moose's manager interferes, leading into Moose spearing Wentz into pieces for the win. Cheap, maybe, but effective, definitely. Moose is building momentum again, and I wouldn't be shocked if he's next in line for something big. So, look out for Moose. Then we had Cody Deemer cutting an emotional promo saying that his contract is expiring. He haven't won in over a year, but he's a wrestler, and that was his dream. He says he's a data for, he wasn't made for wrestling, but he gave it everything. But then Santino Morello walks out and gives Cody an extension to his contract. The crowd was loving it. Until Robert Stone and Alicia Fox, now gone by Victoria Crawford. Robert Stone says that TNA has become the Wild West and is no order. So guess what? Stone now has an official role overseeing operations. And, oh, what? Victoria Crawford, aka Alicia Fox, get a title match with Masha Samovich at the next pay-per-view. We got a new power couple in TNA. This is chaotic. It smells like drama, control, NXT crossover madness. I'm interested. Give me more. And then we got a knockout match that delivered. Jody versus Maggie. Absolute fire. Technical work, shoulder tackles, and high flying. And Jody showed off her grit and strength. Maggie hits a top rope crossroads, but only for Jody to kick out. And then Jody crashes out and hits a F5 to take the W. She's on a roll. Future title contender. I will say Jody is going to be an actual threat for the main title soon. So just wait. So we get the debut of Indy Hartwell, guys. Oh my god. She is a knockout in the knockout division. She comes out and she says, I'm not a knockout, I'm the knockout. And she says she have a history with a lot of women in the back, and she's coming straight for the title. TNA just added a real one to its roster. I cannot wait to see her feud with people like Masha Slamovich, Rosemary, even Judy. So, come on, knockouts. I see what TNA is doing. The knockout division is getting stacked, and I love it. Then we got a match with Casey Norio and Leon Slater. The match was just straight up fun. A cat and mouse game at first, but then turned into a chaos. Leon was flying all over the ring, even over the ring. Casey was scramming. Even AJ tried to interfere, but got tossed out by the referee. At that point, Casey was done, because Leon hits a swanton bomb for the win. I want a rematch ASAP and literally let them both go at it. They are really good. I love this match. Now we got main event. A 6-man tag. The Hardys and Joe Hendry versus Kazarian and the Memphis. And boy, was it chaotic from the bell. Right away, everyone just enters the ring to literally the Hardy Boys cleaning the house. Hendry comes in hot, but then right as things are heating up and they're about to win, Trick Williams shows up by ringside, distracting Hendry, taking him out, letting Kazarian and his boys win the match. What a way to just end the week off. Trick and Hendry is happening. This NXT crossover is literally getting legit and more exciting every minute. And it's amazing being a wrestling fan. Literally, we're in a multiverse of wrestling. And I just can't wait to see where it goes. Who else is going to show up on TNA? We have Indy Hartwell on TNA now. Robert Stone. We have Alicia Fox. What? Like, is everyone just going to be all over WWE and TNA? That's just crazy. But that's my review for this week. Hopefully you guys like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time.